Give me. Oh, I'm just gonna adjust myself in my seat. Okay, all right, all right, all right, all right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of Hot Topics. My name is Gabrielle Crichlow. Welcome to my podcast. Our podcast is a part of A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. So, welcome to the podcast. Welcome to A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. If you have no idea what this podcast is about, let me tell you what this is about. So, this is the show where we like to take those conversations that you only talk about with your friends, that you only talk about in your small circles. You have your little hush hush, susu conversations. We like to take those conversations and we like to put it all out there in the open. But this is not your gossip show. This is not your gossip hot topics. This is educational hot topics. So this is, think of it as a fun, entertaining, but a learning program at the same time. So that is what we are all about. We are all about learning today. And today I am excited about this episode. I know I'm excited in like every single episode, but today I am excited about this episode because while I have a brand new guest, I have a repeat topic. I love it when I repeat topics, you guys, because it allows me to see multiple perspectives of the same thing. So I have a repeat topic today, and let me tell you what that topic is. That topic today is Young Entrepreneurship Part 4, right? This is the fourth installment of Young Entrepreneurship. I love talking to these entrepreneurs, especially when they're young, because they are making those businesses, they are impacting our communities, and they're doing it at such a young age. So it is a blessing to be able to talk to these young people today. So I have one young person who is going to help me out. Her name is Diahni Sample. And let me tell you, Diahni Sample is a 23-year-old inspirational speaker, mentor, event host, B&B host, travel agent, travel host, and author, and she teaches women of all ages to embrace being perfectly imperfect through self-love, healing, and entrepreneurship. Wow. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring Diahni to the stage.
Hi,
Hi, how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good, good. Thank you for coming on the show where, we're going to talk about your life journey and we're going to talk about healing and entrepreneurship and all that. So I want us to go through your journey.
Yeah.
So if you wouldn't mind, just, go ahead and get started and tell us your journey.
So I started my entrepreneurship journey at 18 years old. I'm 23 years old now, and so that's 5 years that I have been in business. And when I say that I've been in business, I would say that it's deeper than just owning a business, making money. Like my journey is deeper than that to me. I've found the type of woman, the young woman that I want to be through business. I've learned my boundaries through business. I've learned how to manage and multitask through business. I've learned how to say no through business. I've learned how to love myself authentically and show up authentically through business. So my journey has been deep. I feel like if I never started my businesses, I actually probably would have been delayed at being at the level that I am now within myself. So not just making the money that I've been able to make and blessed to make, but the person that I've been able to become. And so it's been a journey, but I've loved it. This year is my 5 year business anniversary, so I'm celebrating in October. Major throwing a big event, a gala with my family and friends to celebrate my journey. Everyone who's been a part of my journey, who supported my journey. So it's just amazing to count the numbers and to see the accomplishments and to say, "Wow, you have came this far." To others they may say, "Well, 5 years is a short amount of time," but for me, it's been a long 5 years, but it's been a blessed 5 years. It's been a tremendous transformation in 5 years. So I'm grateful to be here.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so let's start from the beginning. What made you decide to start your entrepreneurship journey? What was the light bulb aha moment for you?
So when I was in high school, I graduated when I was 18, in June 2017. When I was in high school, my senior year, I wrote all of my essays, like every single college essay on helping women change their mindsets, women empowerment, growing yourself, working for yourself. And the goal at that time was to be a flight attendant and to be a journalist. My mom used to always ask me, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I say, "I want to be a flight attendant because I want to be able to travel the world for a discount, and see new places for a discount while selling my books and writing books that change lives." And I was, young at the time. That was what it looked like for me. And when I graduated high school, my school situation didn't work out the way I planned it to be. I was living in New York at the time, and I wanted to go to Georgia State University in Georgia, where my parents were, where my dad was at the time. And my parents didn't have the funds, I shall say, to fund my education the way I wanted to without having to take out loans. So I really had to make a major decision, a hard one, a scary one, because I had to go against my parents. I had to go against everybody's ideal of what I should be doing and choosing to take a semester off. When I took a semester off from college, I decided to move back to New York instead of going to school. And I registered for school. I registered for the classes. I was in the process of registering for the loan to go to Georgia State, because I still was like, maybe I should just do it and just take the challenges and take the extra funds and things that come with it. But something was also saying, no, that's not what you want to do. That's not going to make you happy. And I went back to New York, and I went back to work with a lady who I was working with in high school who had an in-home daycare. She said, you can live here with me, you can work at the daycare with me, and you can figure out what you want to do, and then let me know when you're ready to move forward. So I lived with her at the time. I worked with her at the time, and that's how I made my money. But at the same time, I still was feeling unfulfilled. I still felt in a way like something isn't making me happy here. Something isn't, it's the money. Okay, I'm making money. I have a job. I have somewhere to sleep. I'm blessed. I'm grateful for those things. But I'm still feeling like there's something I need to be doing. There's really something I need to be doing. And so I started doing resumes. Reason why my first business, Prepare for Greatness, which is what I called it, I started doing resumes for my peers because I did my own resume and it got me into all of my colleges that I applied to. And I was like, wow, I do have a skill. Let's see if other people need it. And so I catered to my peers, the ones who went to my high school, the ones who were my age, the ones who followed me on social media at the time. Hey, I'm doing resumes for $20. If you need them, let me know. People support it. I had 3 people contact me within a week, and they're like, I need a resume. They paid me. I built up my skill set doing other people's, managing my time management. And I started my business from there. And I was known as the resume girl. And then I started doing essay editing because everybody was like, you're the writer in high school. Like, you're the one who does all these great essays every time you're doing a presentation. It's amazing. Like, we need help. So I started editing college essays, and I wasn't even in school at the time. I was about to start the spring semester, but still wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And Prepare for Greatness, editing essays, $20. Money started coming in. First it was $20, and if I did more than 3 pages, it was 50, and then it was 100, and people were paying, and I was like, wow, these are my peers supporting me. And then from there, it jumped to, I do have a very, strong voice. I love to speak. I love to talk. And when I was in high school, I was a part of a program called Dynamic Speakers. Now, with Dynamic Speakers, every year on Black History Month, we would recite, practice, and then present a piece to the judges, whether it was a poem, an article, something that catered to Black history, where we would present it to the judges and be able to receive money and an award. And the first year I did it, I won second place. I was late to the program. I only had 3 weeks before the show to prepare. Thankful they let me in. And I won second place, and I had the longest piece. And I was like, wow, next year I'm coming back. I'm coming back for first place. Did it again next year. I was more prepared. I had months to be a part of the program, the practices, and I won first place. And I posted those videos, and my peers supported me to no end. Those videos are the first videos still up on my pages, where they were really the most views. They were really inspired. And I was like, I love to speak. But how do I get myself on a platform as a speaker? I didn't understand the process of being a speaker at the time, or the financials or the money that's able to be made. It's just something I knew I loved to do. Now, my first semester of high school, I went to a college called Old Westbury in New York. When I went to Old Westbury in New York, I was miserable. I missed classes on purpose. I was trying to help my grandmother at the time with her health. I felt like I was getting up every day and I was spending 2 hours in commute to get to school, and it was the worst. It was the worst. I was so unhappy, and I'm like, this can't be what college is like. I see all of my peers happy, fun, having a great time, and I just feel miserable. I feel like unhappy, truthfully. And so this idea came to me while I was walking to the bus. And I remember it vividly like it happened yesterday. I was walking to the bus and I'm like, I'm going to host a women empowerment event. I'm going to call it the female boss brunch. And I'm going to gather all of the girls my age together. And we're going to talk about business. We're going to get older women to come in and speak to us about the ups and downs of business and how to learn the business. And I'm going to put this together. But at the time, I was living in New York, and I wanted to do this in Atlanta, which is where I lived in my, childhood in my younger years. And so I was like, how am I going to do this? I literally had $0 in my bank account. I don't have no money. So how am I going to do this? I didn't know. I started pulling all my resources together. I had a friend whose cousin had a tea shop that let me host it for free. Her grandmother was willing to cook all of the brunch food. She was a great cook for free. I had a lot of friends from middle school and elementary school who were willing to share my flyers. I already had a nice following from Atlanta for the women on Instagram and Facebook. And it came together. We did it March 24th, 2018. And it was my first event. I recorded myself speaking, giving my speech to the ladies, telling my story at the time. And I was only, that was the beginning. So I wasn't even a year in as an entrepreneur. And my life changed. I posted the video of me speaking, posted how to book me, saying, here's my email here if you want to book me for speaking. And I put myself out there. And from there, skyrocket. People from all over, like New York, Atlanta, they were saying, oh, I want you to come speak here. Hey, people my age, girls my age, I'm hosting an event at my college. Can you come speak? I'm hosting an event here. Can you come speak? I started recording videos, more videos of myself speaking. And I was the inspirational speaker from there. And that's what I've been all of this time. And so that is the peak of my journey. That was the light bulb that went off. That was the thing that said, you're meant to do more. This is your purpose. You're meant to help your peers. You're meant to change their mindset. You're meant to inspire them to see that they have something great within themselves. And here I am.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that. You
Yes.
definitely shared a mouthful. So it's it started off with you wanted to just write books and
Yep.
go around the country promoting your books, but it sounds like your parents didn't want to support that. Did
No,
I get that?
but couldn't at the time, I would say.
Oh, they couldn't. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not that they didn't want to, that they couldn't um, do that. So you had to hustle, right? You were selling paper. Not selling. Let me choose my words carefully. You were charging people for preparing resumes,
Yep.
editing papers. You had to hustle to get where you want. You even found your friend who had a daycare, and
Yep.
she let you stay there for free.
Yep.
Yeah. So you had to. If you didn't, you just had this crazy idea. I want to start this women empowerment workshop, and I know that was after the book, and you pulled all of these resources. It's like you had to hustle again,
Right.
right? So what? Tell me, what was it like to have to hustle like that, to have to find ways to get what you want, because you went to your parents first, and the finances aren't always there,
Right.
so we have to find other ways to get to where we need to go. So tell us more about what it's like to have to hustle like that.
Exciting. I would say that the way that I multitasked back then, my first 3 years of entrepreneurship, because when the pandemic came in 2020, I had to regain that same hustle, pulling resources together. So for those first 2 years, it built my character, it built my skills, it built my patience. It built my confidence in myself. It was exciting. It was thrilling. I loved having 10 people text me on my phone saying they needed me for this and that. I loved the money coming in, knowing that I earned it. I worked hard for it. It wasn't just given to me. And I think that that was thrilling and exciting for me, and really a peak moment in becoming what type of entrepreneur will you be? Will you be the one, always expecting handouts or just waiting for the opportunity to come to you, or will you create it? And so it built a lot of my character, and it was exciting. It was exciting. If I could go back to that momentum at that time, I would say that I had a lot of fun learning what I liked, what I didn't like, how to manage my time, how long it took me to do a resume, how long it took me to do an essay, how long. It was an exciting experience, and it was something that I feel like for me showed me that I could. Like, you can do it. You can really do it. Every time somebody would text me or somebody would inquire me about a resume, an essay, or even an event speaking, when that started, it was reassurance. Sometimes we sit and we wait for that reassurance to come from family, friends, partners. And I realized that the more and more that people were supporting me, the more and more that I got up every day with a new idea, new confidence, I was reassured within myself. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful for it. Like I said, excitement. Like, it brings smiles to my face now, because I'm like, wow, I really did all of that at one time. Exciting.
Yeah, and you did that all by yourself, right? You didn't. Did your parents come back and help you in any way?
Their help, I would say, came in support, because there was the first 2 years where they didn't really understand why I was doing things and wasn't making money. And I would say that came from the speaking side, because they would say, well, you're not getting paid to speak. You're not getting paid to find a ride to get here to go to this event. So why are you doing it? So it became a lot of, at first, not understanding, and then support. Like, all right, this is my child. She's happy with what she's doing. She's getting older. She's doing more than the average. I support her. I'm proud of her. They bought products for me, they supported and came to events, started coming to events. I remember when I got them together to come to an event with all my brothers at the same time. And that was just like, and that was the first event that I got paid for. And I was like, oh my God, like, just happy, and just feeling that love and that energy to say, okay, my parents are proud of me. My parents are proud of me. They know that their decision to have a child at 21 wasn't a mistake, wasn't in vain. And so that's how that went. That's how that went. But most of all, I wouldn't say that I did everything on my own. Did I build and learn and self-teach myself on my own? Yes, but I couldn't have done it without the support of my peers. I couldn't have done it without the support of the older women who said, I want to mentor you for free. I want to support what you're doing for free. I couldn't have done it without those people who are willing to embrace, see, respect, and love what I was doing at the same time.
Right. And that's great. You developed a whole, it sounds like you used your whole network, right? You pulled your entire village. You
At
know, you got your friends, you got your mentors, you got, so and so has a cousin who has a business, and so you pulled your resources together. You developed a network, right?
right,
And you were struggling financially as well. And so, one of the things that um the money's not always there as an entrepreneur, so you have to use your resources, right? So you had your friends, you had social media, you developed relationships, right, with people you knew, and you utilized that.
right.
So now you're going around speaking, right, at different conferences. The money is coming in now. So what now I have to think about my question. So what would you say to another entrepreneur like yourself who's young, who wants to do what you're doing, right? So who wants to go around and doing speaking conferences? What would you say to an entrepreneur who wants to do what you're doing?
I would say, don't always expect to get paid in dollars. Sometimes you get paid in network. Sometimes the discouragement comes from saying, I'm not making the money fast enough, or I started this business, not enough people are posting it. Sometimes the focus is so much on the numbers that you forget the blessings that comes outside of the numbers. So for me, my first 3 years of speaking, I didn't get paid for my first event until August 2020, in the middle of the pandemic. $200, my first payment from any speaking event that I've done. And I did over 10 before that, all of 2018, all of 2019. And people will say, what? You weren't getting paid? No. But I was, though. That's the catch. I was getting paid in network. I was getting paid in every time that I went to an event. I met a new community of women. I met a new community of network, a new community of entrepreneurs who are further than I was, who now today support and can always be a phone call away when I need them. And the thing is that if I never got up and say, you know what, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna show up, I'm gonna do it, I would have never built these relationships and these connections. My biggest success in entrepreneurship has not been the amount of money that I've been able to make. It's the amount of people that I've been able to build and get close with and relationship wise. It's that for me. And so I would always say, don't expect the money to come in dollars and don't get discouraged if it doesn't.
Right, and that's a great point. Even I have my doubts sometimes. Sometimes I wonder, like, when's the money coming in? When's the money coming in? But you brought up a
Right.
good point. Like, it's not always about the money. It's the networking, it's the relationships. It's You don't
Yeah.
always get paid in money. You get paid in the people you know, right?
Yeah.
And those people, they promote your services. They're going around telling their friends
Yeah.
and tagging your name on Facebook and wherever. And so it's not always about the money. It's about the relationships and the people that you know and the people that you meet along the way.
Because at one point you'll end up meeting somebody who is exactly where you want to be or further. And I found that happening for me in the last 2 years. I would say that, like, wow, I can really say that, yeah, I have people who other people look up to and they're like, she's successful, she's made her first six figures, and they're my age. I literally can call them a phone call away and say, hey, can you come speak here for me? Hey, can you put that together for me? Hey, they're always inviting me, sending me invites saying, oh, I'm having an event here, or I'm doing this here. I know, we want you there. Somebody like me, where I used to follow these people and admire them myself and still admire them to this day, waiting to build that connection, because I stepped out and went to the college to speak with, because I went to the conference, because I took the trip or took the distance wherever I had to go to connect with them. It's long-term relationships. They've put money, clients, and network back into my pockets in so many ways, back into my dreams. That's amazing to me.
So let's get into I guess, the formalities of it. So what kind of things do you speak about at these conferences?
Well, beforehand, I would say more so I was a freelance speaker. And the reason why, it would be that if you inquired to me about an event, hey, I'm hosting a woman's healing retreat, and I would like for you to come speak about this, and this. I would like for you to come speak about self-love, or childhood trauma, or relationship breakups, or loving yourself more as a young woman, or friendships. This is what I want you to speak on. And I'm the type of speaker where I don't write anything down. I don't practice a speech like I did in dynamic speakers before I get up and speak. You tell me the topic, you tell me what it is. I process it in my mind. I see the type of direction that you're trying to go in, the audience that you have, and I show up that day and I speak from what comes from heart. And I think that's what keeps me authentic in what I do. But formal wise, I would say that my broad topics are traveling, healing, women, entrepreneurship, women in healing with one another, accountability for women, saying that the way that we treat each other, why we need to treat each other better, sisterhood, and truly finding yourself within solitude, moving to a different area, moving to a different direction, learning how to find your passions and your dreams. So all of that is a cultivated of the type of events and conferences that I would even be interested in being a participant in.
And how long do they have you speak for?
Sometimes they say, oh, everybody has I would say a max of 10 minutes. I've never heard nobody tell me they wanted anybody to go over 10 minutes. But honestly, I feel like I get straight to the point. I'm not the type that if it's a prolonged story, and if it's something that I need to, share, well, this happened and then this happened and then this happened, it has the potential to reach the 10 minutes. Most of the time I could be done in 5, I could be done in 3. It just depends on who I'm speaking to, if questions are involved, if it's a Q&A, if it's a open discussion, things of that nature, panel.
Ah, okay. And can I ask how much you get paid now for each?
Of
Speaking
course.
gig?
Well, now I am a inquiry only speaker, so that means that if people come to me, people reach out, they have an event they're interested in. Like there's a girl who she wants me to speak in October in New York. Her event was supposed to be in October 2020 when the pandemic hit, but it got shut down. So she's redoing it. She wants me to come to New York. She wants me to speak. I'm charging her 200. 200 is my starter, and it really does depend on the location where I'm going, because I know, and I think that I chose 200 because when that event happened in August of 2020, I was like, okay, yeah, I actually am doing something that's worth that. I'm worth that price now. Yeah, like I put that day I was only supposed to go and speak on the panel for 10 minutes, and the girl who actually hosted the event, she had a nervous breakdown to where she wasn't able to do the hosting. I had to
Mm.
step in, and I met her that day, and I had to step in a room of 50 people and change the narrative, host the event. So I was like, what I do is worth way more. Like, I don't just come and talk to you. I come and I believe that I come with an energy of embracing you, transforming you, healing with you, relating to you, just making you know that it's okay. Like, it's okay to cry. It's okay to feel it. It's okay to go through whatever it is. And so 200 is the starter. I tell everybody that now when my website comes back out again, probably at the end of this year, if I finish by then. 200 is the starter. Just depends on where I'm going. Now, 100 is the starter if I'm in Charlotte, which is where I live now. And a lot of people were kind of like, they were a little not bothered by it, but just like, damn, like you don't live in New York no more. You were right there. It was easier to get you. I'm like, yeah, I don't live there anymore, so I have to change the price. I have to change, what it's worth to now travel there, to now be there for a couple of days, how much money it's going to take. So that's where I go with it.
Oh, so you travel, you go there in person to different to the
I've done
different
online,
cities.
I've done online virtual, especially during the pandemic. Everything was virtual, so I was hosting all of my events became virtual. So the girls' nights and the girls' meetings and the things that I would do before the pandemic, I started doing them in through Zoom. All of my events became through Zoom. So a lot of people started doing their own events through that as well. So I've done those, but most now it's in person. When I first started, everything was in person.
So so during the pandemic everything was virtual. So now that things are opening back up, or maybe they open back up even
Right.
if it's like 80-85%, what how has that affected your business?
Well, now, I would say that the speaking engagements, the inquiries have slowed down, and I think it is because a lot of people still don't think that they can host events in person. But for me, since the pandemic ended, I was able to host girls' night, part one, part two, 7 events in person, 4 here in Charlotte and 3 in New York. But all of 2020, my hustle had to turn up 110% because I was like, wait, I get my network by being in person. So now we have to quarantine. How am I gonna make money? Like, how am I gonna continue to be relevant? I would say that was my concern at the time. How am I gonna continue to be relevant? And that came through with me turning everything I did virtual. I hosted 3 business webinars, and I collaborated with a young lady who was a storming entrepreneur, still is. She's a makeup
Mhm.
artist and a hairstylist. She's 4 years younger than me, and she's in New York as well. We collaborated for the whole year and hosted our events together. So her following plus my following plus just the unique aspect of that, she's in the beauty industry and I'm in the, I would say, uh business public speaking industry, writing industry. We come from 2 different worlds, but we came together and we made it work. That tremendously built my network. I met people through online that I never met before, that I never connected with before, who I'm still grateful for their support today. Then we hosted self-love webinars online where the girls would just join us on Zoom, pay for their $10 tickets, $5 tickets, $20 tickets, and join us
Mhm.
2 hours. We drink our wine, we talk. And it was interesting because we were scared. We were like, people gonna pay $20 to sit at home. Like, people are gonna pay it. And those are the most sold out events I've ever had, believe it or not, compared to in person. To then, all of my virtual events skyrocketed.
Mhm.
Skyrocketed. Money made, tickets sold. It was amazing. And it made an amazing transition to know that we could do it, because also for her, how does she do hair? How does she do makeup now? She can't, clients, quarantine. So we came together and made tremendous changes. It was beautiful.
Yeah, so it sounds like you had to adapt, right?
Oh,
Which is
yes,
very common for entrepreneurs, especially in the height of the pandemic. Is a lot of people the in person businesses, even my business, like even we had to adapt. Most
right,
of our all of our sessions were in person, and then the pandemic hit, everything shut down, so
right,
we had to pivot and change our business strategy. And that sounds like what you had to do.
yeah. And I just was grateful that I didn't do it alone. I was grateful that I had a I learned collaboration and partnership through the pandemic, especially working with somebody who's in a completely different field. We were coming together at each other's houses, setting up the living room, putting together for our webinars, using her beauty ring light that she uses for clients. We had to make it work. We had to make it work. We did it right in the living room in the middle of the daycare because I was living there at the time. We had to make it work. And making it work let us know that it did work and that it does work when you adapt and adjust, and sometimes for the better. I feel like the most money I've made was in the pandemic. The most network that I've gained was in the pandemic. And for a lot of people, they say it was a very traumatic time, and for me it was a transformative time. It was the best business year of my life.
Yeah, it sounds like it. It
Yeah,
sounds like things, and and that's while some businesses they were hurt by the pandemic, they lost sales, they lost income.
right,
There were like others like yourself that actually did better
right,
in the pandemic. People are stuck at home. All they have is the TV, all they have is the internet, and so
right.
when things switch to virtual, you were in a position to take advantage of that.
Right, and took full advantage because I would say that if we didn't do that, I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't. And I always say that my reflections and the decisions that were made beforehand truly shape where you are and how far you're able to go, especially in business. You got to take risks all the time. We have to make decisions all the time. We have to literally say, okay, the pros and the cons of this, they both come with them. Which one are we going to take?
Hmm.
Sometimes you can only risk and bet on yourself.
That's right. That's right. That's right. So, is this the only thing that you're doing? Is this the only job that you have?
Which one?
The 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 speaking, the speaking at different conferences.
Oh, was that the only job I had at the time, or you're saying
Right
now?
now. That's
Oh
is it,
no, no! Now I've expanded. I'm an event host again, so I've hosted 4 events here in Charlotte with the women. We did a picnic, we did a vision board party, we did a brunch, and then we did a lingerie event. 4 of those 4 events we did this summer. So I'm back into my event hosting. I love that. That's also a great thing for me too. So I love doing that. I'm a travel agent now. So I've been a travel agent for 2 years. So anybody who wants trips planned, you don't know how to plan a trip, or your group is annoying, or you're just not sure how to get the best deals, I'm a travel agent. I do that. That's the next thing I do. After that, I'm a travel host. So I have a group of 24 women from different states. We've been traveling together since 2022 started. So we do that. We network, we talk, we heal. That's something I do. I'm committed to. I dive in, and then in August I launched my first B&B unit here in Charlotte. So now I'm a B&B host, learning that network, learning how to keep that up afloat, and still a speaker. Still a speaker. Like I said, that event coming up in October is probably the first one that I was like, okay, I'm ready to do back in person again. I can do it. I got it. But speaking is one of those things where it just comes in the flow. I feel like I do that daily through all of my businesses, so that's always going to be alive.
so you have a lot of things going on, right?
Oh,
So it's not just the one thing that you're doing. You're doing multiple things at once.
yes.
So how do you balance all that?
I take a lot of me time. Like now, I dedicate my mornings from the moment that the morning starts to 12 p.m. in the afternoon. I dedicate that to me. I dedicate that to meditating, getting my mind right. I'm also a very organized, overly organized individual. So like I have my daily schedule planned from today all the way until 2023 in my phone notes. So I know exactly what I need to do every day, what time I need to be at something, when it has to be done. So I keep myself very organized in that way. I'm a task checklist type of person. I have to write it down and say, okay, I got that done, check off the list. Now what's the next thing? And then also I'm very what I didn't used to be, but I am now. I'm a boundary business owner. I answer when I can answer. I make sure that I take time. Now I don't tell you that yes, I'll have your travel itinerary done tonight, even though you just sent it today. No, it's gonna take me 3 days for a 3 day turnaround. I give myself that grace now, and I have boundaries. Sometimes if I just know a client is truly wasting my time, and I would say more so in the fact of not responding, but inquiring and going back and
Yeah.
forth, or not ready to pay, send their deposits, I don't deal with it. And so I'm a very boundary business owner now. But back then I would let everybody slide with everything. Oh my goodness. Like, oh my, yes, you can pay me when you get ready and I'll finish the essay for you tonight. No, like now I no longer give myself that type of pressure. And that's how I balance.
Right. And that's another big thing about being an entrepreneur is it's like you want to help anybody and everybody, right? But that's a hard lesson to learn is that there are people who will take advantage of you and they will squeeze whatever they can and pay you very little. So I think that's one of the hard lessons about being an entrepreneur is that there are people who will waste your time, who will waste your money, and
Okay.
it's the they're draining the energy out of you. So I think that's a tough, life lesson to learn as an entrepreneur. And you you have to pivot that, and now you have to change the way you do business because of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. So it's like you're learning all of these, and that's the interesting thing about being an entrepreneur. It's like you're learning all of these life lessons in the work that you're doing.
Yes. And then also the lessons that you learn in the beginning when you first start out, they play a big role in the lessons that you need when you're years in, I believe. Like that ideal of time management, of learning how to use your resources, those are things that I relearn and have to reapply now 5 years later, and so I think that it's like you said, it's beautiful. You learn as you go, you learn through your work, literally.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, we're having a lot of fun, but we're going to start to wind things down now. All right. So, do you have any final words of wisdom that you would like to share with our audience?
Yes, I want everybody to know that, like a lot I could say, but I'm gonna make it short. I want everybody to know that life is worth living, and anything that you truly want to do, anything that lights you up on the inside, anything that makes you laugh, smile endlessly, dive into it more. Most of the time, when you give yourself that creative space to laugh, to be happy, to be grateful, to see the blessings and things around you, you start digging into your passion, into your life work, into what you want to do. And sometimes it's okay to take a step back, take a breather, and not be what everybody else wants you to be. Sometimes the only person that you will become is the one that you want to be within. So if anybody could take that, nourish that, and that's the biggest life lesson that I continue to learn. No matter how many years I'm in entrepreneurship, that one keeps coming up for me. So I hope that it helps. I hope that it triggers something within for you to be like, okay, that's what I needed to hear, or that's what I needed, or now I know I can do it. Anything like that. I'm grateful. Thank you guys for having me.
Awesome. 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 All right. Now it is promo time. All
Yeah.
right. So let me put up your banner here. All right, you guys. So Diahni, she is on that social media. So she has 3 Instagrams. I want you guys to take notice of that. So one is Diahni Sample. That's the first one. The second one is Female Boss Collection. And the third one is Perfectly Imperfect Film. So go to each one of those Instagram accounts and follow her on every single one of those. You could also find her on Facebook at her personal page. Diahni Sample. She also has a link tree that has a bunch of links on it. It's just link tree slash Diahni Sample, and you could also email her at uh, hold on. What is your email? What's your email?
I have 6 emails, but
Okay. Yes, it's coming up on the screen right now. Sorry. The female boss collection at gmail.com. So if you are looking for a speaker for your event, feel free to, not feel free, do it. Reach out to her, hit her up, you guys. She is on 3 different Instagram accounts. You can also hit her up on Facebook on her link tree, and you can reach out to her via email. And of course, all of this information is in our description. So, if you are, whether you're watching this on video right now or you're listening to this on audio, all this information is at your fingertips. So please hit her up on social media, follow her on all of her accounts. And if you are looking for a speaker for your event, hit her up, you guys. Her information is scrolling below at the bottom of your screen, or it is in the description, depending on which platform that you're taking this in right now. Diahni, is there anything else you want to say about your business?
I want to say that, listen, I'm probably gonna be the most down to earth travel agent, travel host, B&B host that you're gonna meet. Don't ever feel any type of way if I'm just seem like I'm taking my time. Know that I got you. Know that you are getting what you're worth. It's always gonna be quality over quantity with any of my businesses. And thank you so much for having me. I'm grateful.
Awesome. Oh, we got a public comment I just want to share. We just got a quick hello. We got a quick hello there. All right, all right. And what else? And you have your book. Let's make sure we plug your book in. So tell us about your book.
Perfectly imperfect. It's my book that I launched 2019. 2019, for my 21st birthday. Whenever my 21st birthday was, whatever year that was, that is when Perfectly Imperfect launched. I am a self-published author on Amazon. It is my second out of 3 books. My first paperback hard copy book. My first book, where I believe that I learned what it meant to become an author. It's about relationships. It's about abortions. It's about um, insecurities. It's about healing. It's about experience. It's all about experience. And the main thing that it all ties into is that you're not alone. You're not
Mhm.
alone. I would say that it's a woman's book because I do cater everything to women. I believe that women are the ones who can read it and understand it. However, I've had a couple of male supporters read it too and say that they learned something as well. So all around, perfectly imperfect. It's the embodiment, the message of everything that I do. You can be imperfect and be great at whatever it is that you're doing.
So wait, is the book intended for women or is
Yeah,
it?
it's intended for women. I honestly never expected a guy to want to read it, but had male supporters, my father, who've read it and who've told me like, wow, like I learned something, or they came up with their own summary from it. I'm like, oh, okay, but it is truly dedicated for women ages 15. At the time, I said ages 15 to 21, but the network of women that I realized that tell me that they need it, or that their daughters need it, or their little sisters need it, I would say that this book can start at the age of 12 for anybody from ages 12 to 30. And that doesn't mean that anybody above that age or younger than that age shouldn't still dive in. But I know that the stories that I tell within it, the things that I share within it, it caters to that group.
All right, there you go. So it's you originally intended it for women, but you know you're not going to turn it down if some men want to read it as well. Okay, awesome, awesome, awesome. All right, so Diahni, thank you so much for joining us today on Hot Topics.
Thank you for having me on Hot Topics.
Awesome, awesome. All right, you guys, we have reached the conclusion of our show. Let me put up my banner here. All right, you guys. So this was an awesome show, but unfortunately, we have reached the ending of our show. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please check out our other episodes. whatever platform you are taking this in right now, whether you are watching this on video or listening on audio, please check out our other episodes and don't forget to follow and subscribe. And while you're at it, please let us know what you thought about this episode by leaving a comment in the comment section below or in the comment thread. And please give us a rating if you happen to be listening on or like Spotify or what are the other ones? Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts. If you happen to be listening, please give us a rating. Let us know what you thought about this episode on those platforms as well. And I also want to remind you guys that this podcast is a production of A Step Ahead Tutoring Services. So if you're looking for a tutor, whether for yourself or for your child, it's back to school season now. So, now is the time to get that tutor, you guys. So if you are looking for a tutor, please check us out online. Our website is www.astepaheadtutoringservices.com. We are also all over social media as well. Hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. We're all over the place. That information, of course, is at the bottom of your screen right now, or it is in the description. So I gotta be like, wait, I'm talking to video and audio people, so I gotta be mindful about my words. So yes, please, look us up again. Our website www.astepaheadtutoringservices.com. And I also want to let you guys know that Hot Topics has a text list. So I encourage you to sign up for our text list. You will know about the upcoming episodes, live episodes, episode drops. You will stay in touch with everything that is Hot Topics. So text the code Hot Topics to 917-764-3975. Again, text the code Hot Topics to 917-764-3975. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I know there was a mouthful that I just said there, but I had to get through it all. But thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys at the next episode. Thank you so much for joining us today. And now I am signing off. Bye.